What's going on, y'all? It's Jared from the Lanyard Legends podcast. I'm your host, Jared, aka the Lanyard Tech, give you what you need in news. So today on the show, we have Michael Morgan. He is one of the owners of Morgan Mixers and HITCHED Beverages. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here.
All right. Just to let my listeners know, make sure y'all subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Facebook, everything. You just click on the link below in the comments and you can subscribe. All right. So, Michael, please let the listeners know a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, I'm a Air Force veteran. Actually started doing mixers like this for tailgates and for private parties and stuff like that. And so many people told me that we should bottle it and sell it. So we kind of got the idea. We started small, just doing, again, some small gatherings, and just kind of took off and gained momentum, and here we are.
That's what's up. So what came with the names? Why do it now during this pandemic? So let's start with the name. Why Morgan Mixers and HITCHED Beverages?
A moniker that my wife came up with. She thought that the name sounded a little snappy, was a good idea. Quite honestly, I didn't like it at first, but when I put it on the Instagram page, folks just kind of took to it, and it kind of got a life of its own at that point. So, and as far as HITCHED Beverages, the idea behind that name is really the concept of HITCHED Beverages is going to be a mobile bar for special events, festivals, and the like. So since the trailer the mobile bar would be a trailer hitched to a towing vehicle, a truck, we kind of played on that name a bit and came up with HITCHED Beverages.
Okay, all right, that's a cool idea like that. So so how do you all get to engage with customers? How can somebody order a beverage from you all?
The best way to do it now, because the website is under construction, best way to do it now would be on Instagram at HitchedBevNola or at Morgan_Mixers. You can direct message us there. Our phone numbers are listed on the Instagram page as well. That's usually how folks make the initial contact, either through text message or direct message on Instagram.
Okay. All right. And what kind of beverages do you have?
Oh man, we have a little bit of everything, man. Kind of whatever you like. Our drinks run the gamut of spirits from tequila, vodka, rum, gin, cognac, brandy. We even do like some specialty habanero tequila, cinnamon vodka, fired brandy. I mean, we do a whole bunch of different things. We kind of get in the lab, as you can see behind me. Got a little lab going here, and we get in here and do some experimenting, and what's not good, we throw it away, and what's really good, we kind of go with it and put it on the menu and see what happens. And so far, the things we've been putting on the menu have really taken off.
All right, y'all. And just to let y'all know, I got a couple of samples right here that I'm gonna try.
I see you have the cucumber gin lemonade there.
Yeah, it's a cucumber lemonade. We need to try that. And then I think this is the Walt Big Tea, right?
That's the Big Walt's Long Island tea. We've been trying to get that recipe from my partner's father for quite a while now, and he finally relented and is allowing us to sell it. And it's been doing quite well just in the last few weeks.
Okay, cool. And
I'm not sure if you've ever had it before.
No, I haven't. I'm about to taste all of them all right now. This is the pineapple. Was it cider?
That's the pineapple sidecar. Actually, that drink, the recipe for the drink itself is over 150 years old.
Okay.
We just kind of put a new twist on it, made it a little sweeter, to have it be accepted by a general audience, because the drink itself in its natural form is a little sour. So we kind of sweetened it up a little bit to broaden the appeal of it.
Okay. And that's the pineapple. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and try it right now. Taste testing these things right now. This is my first time opening the bottle.
Go for it. I can hear the seal breaking on it, man.
Shout out to Walter bringing me the samples. Test this out.
You're right.
Oh yeah, this is good right here. Nice flavor,
It'll
smooth.
catch you. Now that one
Yeah,
has a
I can tell. I
combination of
tasted it in
that.
there.
Yeah, it'll catch you. Now that one has a combination of brandy and cognac in it.
Okay, brandy and cognac on that one. And next one I'm gonna try the cucumber gin lemonade.
Cucumber gin lemonade. That one is really light, really refreshing. The cucumbers are actually soaked in the gin for about 24 hours before the drink is actually prepared.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this one nice and sweet and light. Yeah, this is good.
Yep, very light. That's a good summer day in the yard, or a picnic, or you know. Be careful with it, though.
Right? This the Big Walt iced tea.
That's the Big Waltz Long Island tea. Now, I'm going to warn you before you drink that. It's good, it's sneaky, and it's potent.
All right.
It is extremely potent. But it's had me crawling on the floor quite a few nights, let me tell you. Oh, yeah.
I'm about to try this one.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Yeah, I tasted it already. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you going in. I see. All right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the one right here. This
Oh,
one
yeah.
right.
That will get you, my friend.
Yeah.
That one, it will definitely get you. Go slow with that one.
I got this one. I got the last one. The bourbon lemonade.
Bourbon lemonade. Yeah, that's actually one that we came up with for an event Walter and I did with the Black Bourbon Society last Labor Day weekend. Okay. And they asked us to come up with a couple cocktails. That one has Kentucky bourbon, fresh squeezed lemonade, little triple sec, and a couple other things as well.
Oh yeah, this one real smooth. Yeah, I don't even taste the bourbon. This one.
Yep. Mm-hmm. See, that's part of the problem. You don't taste the bourbon.
Yeah, this one good. I like that. That one real smooth too and sweet. Yeah.
Now that one's actually made with two different bourbons, and one of the bourbons that we typically use in it is either Evan Williams 100 proof or Old Granddad 114 proof. Okay. And we mix it with a lower proof 80 proof whiskey also, kind of give it a little balance, but it still has a kick to it.
Okay, cool. All right, that's some good beverages right there.
Right.
I'm definitely gonna be partaking these later on after we do this show.
Excellent. That's what we want you to do. Look, I'm actually about to partake in one myself, so there you go. Yes, I am.
That's what's up. All right, so what made you and Walter decide to start a beverage business in the middle of a pandemic?
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. The pandemic is probably the best thing that could happen right now as far as the Morgan Mixers portion of it, because people are basically home. They can't go to bars. The restaurant visits are very restricted. So getting these products delivered to them at their home has really been good for us. Spending a lot of money at the post office, a lot of time at the post office, but we've been shipping a lot. We've shipped probably, let's see, in the last year, we've probably shipped to 44 states. We've shipped to England, Italy. Okay. So yeah, it's been catching on. We haven't been to like Montana, Idaho, places like that. But the entire West Coast, entire East Coast, Midwest, South here especially, it's been catching on. And when folks came home to visit for Thanksgiving and Christmas, found out about us, and when they went back home, they had us ship some products to them as well. So the pandemic, honestly, has been a boom for us. Okay. Now, as far as the Hitch beverage portion, it's kind of on a wait and see thing right now because we really don't know when restrictions are going to be lifted. But we are prepared for that once the pandemic is over. We will be in a position to start up doing festivals and special events, receptions, private parties, stuff like that. And at that point, all of the beverages we sell will move to the Morgan Mixers portion of the business, and the Hitch beverages will be strictly for the special events with the mobile bar.
All right, cool. So how do you all how did you all obtain the people from internationally? Like how the shipping costs? How do you wrap things up? How does that go?
Well, a couple things. One, you got to make sure that these packages are leak proof. It's not illegal to send liquids through the mail, but you have to make sure that they're leak proof, because if they leak at all, they'll be thrown away, and you'll get a friendly letter from the post office saying, "Hey, your package leaked, so we threw it away."
Okay.
So we make sure that
Mm.
everything, all beverages or like the ones you opened, we make sure that the containers we use are leak proof. We double bag everything. All of the popsicles we sell are heat sealed as well, double heat sealed, in fact, by hand.
Okay.
So we make sure that we don't have any mishaps or any issues when we ship these items. The folks that I shipped to in London and Italy, they were folks that were actually, of course, from the States, but came here to visit, had our products, and then wanted to know if we could ship them there. So the shipping costs were really not that bad to ship overseas, because both of the few parties we've shipped to overseas were all military. So we were able to ship them to the APO addresses. And it was really no more than it cost to ship anywhere in the United States, honestly.
Okay. All right, I understand. Okay, you're shipping the military base. I got you. Okay.
Right.
So how did y'all? So my whole thing is, when you starting a beverage company, how do you go on about finding the I guess the manufacturer for the bottles? How do you keep them containers? Like, do y'all use multiple vendors? Do y'all use one particular person? How do y'all do that?
At this time, we do use multiple vendors. We kind of use whoever gives us the best deal on the product right now. With the pouches, they're relatively inexpensive. The bottles are a little bit more expensive. That's the difference in the pricing. But we've been able to keep the costs low by ordering in bulk and making sure that we have those relationships established with the vendors. Because the worst thing you can do is run out of things to put your product in. It's the worst possible scenario. So we have to make sure we keep a good relationship with those folks and stay on top of it, because most of the time they'll kind of gauge when they think we're running low, and they'll reach out to us before we have a chance to reach out to them. So they kind of stay on top of it too. It's a good working relationship we have with them, definitely.
Okay. So when it comes to mixing the drinks, do you all and your staff mixing in-house, or do you have another outside party to do that?
Nope, everything we mix is made to order and by hand. When you order it, it's mixed at that point. Nothing's mixed and stored or anything like that. Everything is mixed fresh within 24 hours, and all orders are shipped within 48 hours. Yeah,
Okay.
we don't,
Oh, yeah,
we don't store, we don't store anything whatsoever, except the materials to actually mix the drinks. But as far as having them pre-mixed and stored, no, we don't do that at all. Everything is mixed to order, because some folks want them a little stronger, some want them a little weaker, stuff like that. So we like to talk through the process with them to make sure, because, well, and to be quite honest, most folks will just tell us, look, just make it strong. So they'll just make it strong. They'll say if it's too strong, we'll just pour it over ice or something like that. But yeah, most of the time, they want them as strong as we can make them. We have to be careful with the balance with the popsicles, because if we put too much alcohol in them, they won't freeze.
Right.
We've had that happen occasionally, but I'll be honest with you, my customers are troopers. They'll just clip it open, pour it over ice, and drink it. I've gotten many a picture with somebody sending me, look, they have one picture where they clip it open, the next one they're pouring it over the ice, and the next one they're sipping it. So, yeah, they understand that when we send them a drink, it's not going to be that stuff you buy in Walmart or Costco or anything like that. These are all handmade, and we put our effort into making sure that they're custom to your needs.
All right, cool. So every time someone contacts you all, you make a specification just for that customer. So
That's
there's
correct.
you just don't make them. Okay, cool. I like that.
That's
great customer
correct.
service right there.
Right, and that's the reason we like folks to text us directly or send us a direct message, instead of it being just like a form or whatever or something like that. We like to make sure that we we talk to them, see what they wanted, because a lot of times they'll have questions about particular spirits, if it's light or dark spirits, what brands we use, stuff like that. Because some folks, it really doesn't matter, but some folks are very particular about what they drink, as am I. As you can see behind me, I'm very particular about what I drink, so I make sure that I express that same particularity, if that's a word, when we make the mixers as well. I don't just drink anything, and I'm not going to serve my customers just anything either.
Okay.
They'll have questions about different ingredients. Some folks have allergies that we have to make sure we address. I actually have a couple customers that have the weirdest thing, pineapple allergies.
Really? I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I had never heard of that before. And we actually have two folks that order from us pretty regularly. And when we get messages from them, the first thing that pops up is pineapple allergy. So we have to make sure that there's no pineapple anywhere in the room, which is difficult because maybe 4 or 5, possibly 6 of the popsicles have pineapple as one of the main ingredients. So that's another reason we like to mix them to order. So we'll make sure there's no crossing of different beverages that could cause someone a problem when they consume it.
Okay, cool. Earlier you was talking about the Hitched Beverage mobile bar. So once everything calmed down, the pandemic, what is the method of doing so? How would y'all market that? How would that look if you all show up to a party or event?
Well, a couple things. One, it can be rented out for special events. You can set up a 3 or 4 drink menu, and we will make the drink offsite, have it bottled and ready to serve to the guests. Or we could pull up at any type of outdoor event. Hell, we'll be able to pull up right on Decatur Street in the Quarter on one Sunday afternoon and sell right out of there, because we'll be licensed to do that as well. Receptions, if you're having an outdoor reception or an outdoor party, especially with fall coming up, we'll be able to pull up right on site. We won't require any kind of external connections or anything like that. Everything we need, we'll bring with us. And again, you can set up a 2, 3, or 4 drink menu. Everything will be pre-mixed. All we have to do is pour it, garnish it, serve it to the customers, and everybody have a good time.
All right, cool. That's what's up. So, are y'all doing this full time, or do you have any other outside jobs?
Oh no, I work full time, man. I'm an adjuster for an insurance company, and I work full time. So the mixers portion of my life and the Hitched Beverages portion is after 5 p.m. every day. I'm in the lab, taking orders, mixing, packaging, the whole 9 yards. Early in the morning before my shift starts, I'm making sure addresses are accurate and sending out things at the post office early in the morning. And from that point forward, I'm Michael, the claims adjuster, till 5 p.m.
I like that. I like people who have full-time jobs, and eventually your side hustle is gonna be your main hustle.
That's the goal.
That's what I like. You know what I'm saying? Because by day I'm a full-time cloud engineer. So and I love doing things like this. So going back, so how was it managing work-life balance and doing this part-time before and after hours of your full-time job? How does this impact your work life?
It can be tough. I'm not gonna lie to you. It can be tough. There are a lot of times when my wife is like, you got more orders you have to do. I'm like, yeah, I got some orders out, but the thing is, I try to knock them out as quickly as possible. And I also try to make sure that we have some we time. We don't have kids or anything, so that makes it a little bit easier. It's just her and I. So I make sure that there's some we time for us built in to my regular job as well as the mixers. So sometimes I struggle with it. I'm not gonna lie. It can get tough sometimes, especially when it's a busy weekend or a busy Wednesday and folks want drinks for the weekend. We have to ship or deliver, and it can get a little dicey. But again, I always try, whenever I'm lacking, I try to make up for it in other ways. And like just this past weekend, we just dropped everything and took a ride. We just have to do what we have to do, to make it work. But she's very happy with it. In fact, she was one of the ones that gave me the idea to actually start Morgan Mixers
Okay.
from the beginning.
All right. So, speaking of that life balance and making adjustments, have you all had any type of any mistakes you all made or any roadblocks? If so, how did you all overcome it?
I guess the thing about it is I've been mixing drinks and doing stuff like this for so long. I think the stumbles I had were actually before we got this off the ground. Thank God so far we haven't had any major mishaps. Oh, there you go. We haven't had any major mishaps or anything so far. Everything's been good. Hopefully it can stay that way. But in business, things creep up, things are gonna happen. But so far, man, we've been blessed. It's been very good. We've had a lot of folks that both manufacture alcohol, that run bars and stuff like that. They've been really supportive of us. Sometimes I'll come home and there'll be a box sitting on my doorstep with beverages that someone has, with spirits that someone has sent to me, wanting us to make products out of it for them to promote on their business web pages as well. So,
Okay.
it's been good. We've done some events with Uncle Nearest Whiskey. We've done some events with Skeptic Vodka and Gin out of Chicago. We've done some events with Whistle Pig Rye Whiskey out of Connecticut as well. So we've actually had quite a few things that we've done. I mean, the pandemic has kind of slowed the outdoor events down, but we've taken that time to increase the mail order and the delivery business part of it. So it's worked out well.
All right. So do you all associate with a authorized what's the word I'm talking for, like an alcohol vendor, like a distributor or something like that?
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we are actually a fully legal LLC here in the state of Louisiana, and we're actually in the process of securing our own building, so that we can kind of do more of a mass production and kind of get out there a little bit more instead of just having it be local and mail order. We kind of want to get online and see what the volume of business would be if we could handle that. We have pretty good word of mouth. So I think that once we are able to get online and get our own facility, things that'll be the time when I have to sit down and think about whether I want to keep a full-time job or not as a primary full-time job.
Your main hustle.
Right, exactly. Like you said, make my side hustle my main hustle. That's exactly right.
All right. So do you all have any like distribution deals with any company locally or regionally or nationwide?
No, not yet. Like I said, we do have arrangements that we make with different companies for special events from time to time, but not like a signed distribution type thing. But that'll be one of the things we'll be able to do once we get our own facility. We'll be able to put that out there that, hey, we can supply you, have them in your grocery store or somewhere like that where you can just walk right up and buy them. We kind of, in the beginning, want to make sure that we control the flow as opposed to having a company that we do business with control the flow. And that way we'll make sure our products keep the same quality. And if we have to mass produce them, we want to still have our hand in it, making sure that we're still using the same ingredients, the same quality of liquor in everything that we make. Wait, I think I lost you there, my friend. Let me see. I think I lost you on the volume. Can you hear me?
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
There we go. All right.
All right. So what advice would you give someone who wanted to start their own beverage line or beverage company? What advice would you give them?
Don't do it. No. No. We don't want any competition. No. But there's a lot of competition out there, let me tell you. Look, I'm no mixologist, and there are a lot of folks that do this that are certified mixologists. My thing is experience more than anything. I'll be honest with you, I'm a New Orleans boy. I've been sneaking my grandfather's ponies since I was 9 years old. So I mean, but as far as giving someone advice to start a business like this, make sure that you address your customers' needs. Make sure you use quality products. Don't skimp. Uh, be prepared to have people tell you that they don't like your drink. Uh, and make sure that you taste everything that goes out. Make sure you taste everything that goes out. And I know that can be a challenge sometimes, but you want to make sure what you're sending folk is something that you would go out and buy and consume yourself. Um, that's probably the best advice I could give you. Don't serve anyone anything that you wouldn't drink. Um, I'm a firm believer in that. Because unlike like Tony Montana, I do drink my own drinks. I do eat my own popsicles and stuff like that. So, but if I don't do it, I won't be able to instill that confidence in any customer and have them trust us as well. So, I think it's important to do that.
All right. So, what type of technology do y'all use to sell your product, work with your product? Like, do y'all use any type of software that helps you with point of sales, advertising, anything?
Right now, everything is social media. You know, when this started, I had no idea the reach of social media. Something as simple as putting a hashtag on a post. I had no idea. It was my young niece that told me that I should do that on every single post, every single time. And now we have folks that'll just punch in hashtag boozy pop or hashtag boozy pouch or something like that. And they'll see 300 posts that we've made and they're like, wow, let me take a look at this and see what's going on if this many people are buying it. But honestly, the absolute best way is to have customers testify about the quality of your product. Folks send us pictures of them enjoying them around the country. A young lady sent us a picture. She was at the George Washington Bridge. We've had pictures at the Golden Gate Bridge, pictures in the forest, pictures on the beach, all over the place. But it's always folks enjoying the beverages. And when one person posts a picture like that, 5 people will see it and call us. If 5 people do it, 15 will call us. So the customer word of mouth, man, has been more effective than any type of other advertising that we've done. And everything we've done has been strictly online. And it's definitely worked for us.
Okay. All right. So what was that moment that you realized that His Beverages and Morgan Mixers was a success or a big hit?
I tell you, last Labor Day weekend, we did an event for Black Bourbon Society. And they asked us to use an Uncle Nearest whiskey and make 3 different flavors of popsicles from the Uncle Nearest whiskey. So we did the bourbon lemonade, we did a mango whiskey, and we did this pop called the Paper Plane, which is an older drink as well. We put a little twist on it to make it more palatable in a popsicle form. It was a huge hit. After that weekend, I had more business than I could handle. I actually had to take off a week from my main job in order to fulfill orders because the orders just poured in. And I thought to myself then, I said, you know, we could do something with this. We really could do something with this. And it was around that time where Walter and I actually had the initial discussions about forming a partnership, because in the beginning it was me by myself with Morgan Mixers. And then a few months ago, we actually were able to get the ball rolling on the HITCHED Beverages, brought in some different updated cocktails for it, including the Big Waltz Long Island tea, and a few other things that we brought in. There you go. And and it's really worked out well. I think at that time I thought that it could be a success. There's no way you're gonna make it through this podcast. You're drinking that like that.
I'm all right. I'm from the NO. I'm from the NO.
All I'm gonna look, all I'm gonna look, and all I'm gonna see is your hat and the camera. That's all. But you know, I'm saying that, and that's actually what I'm drinking too, is the Long Island tea. So, yeah. Oh yeah. Trust me, it'll get you.
Right. So of course, being a man of color, we go through things that most of our counterparts do not go through. Has there been any times you have lost business or nobody want to deal with you because after they contact you all and realize you are African American or Black? Has that ever happened to you while you're conducting business?
Actually, I have not had that issue. Okay. Quite honestly, man, when folks find out that I'm from New Orleans still has that cachet, it still has that mystique, because most folk that live out of town, as soon as they find out we're from New Orleans, their mind flashes back to an event they attended here, a meal they had that was just knocked their socks off, or they got so drunk that they couldn't remember anything that happened that weekend. So when we tell them that all of our beverages are mixed here by hand in New Orleans, it adds a cachet to it. And Black or white, Asian, doesn't matter. We've had all kind of customers from all across the national spectrum, and it's been great, man.
Okay.
I initially thought that might be something that could possibly hamper us, but in fact, it's been the opposite. It's been the opposite.
All right. So you say you make every drink by hand. So how long does it take for you all to make each beverage?
We got it down to a science now. So we have the recipes written out, trial and error, making sure that we have the mixtures and the portions correct. And once we get that correct, whether we're mixing it for pops, we have to make an adjustment to it. If we're mixing it for the pouches, the bottles, or the gallons, that's a different recipe for it. It's same ingredients, but just the elements are measured a little bit differently in it. The popsicles, like I said, we have to make sure that they'll be able to freeze. But as far as the pouches and what have you, now, we don't care if they freeze. We'll put as much liquor in it as you ask. So yeah, it's just come down to trial and error. It really doesn't take long to mix anything anymore. The other night I had an order for 70 pouches and 30 bottles, and it probably took me about an hour to get everything.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Nice
so
time.
Yeah, we have got it down to a science, man. Got it down to a science.
Okay. And is it just you and your business partner, or is it other individuals that you hire on as well?
Just the two of us.
Okay.
Just the two of us. Yep. No employees. No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay, not yet. Right.
No employees. No folks helping. Occasionally, my wife will help with labeling and ordering supplies, but as far as the mixing and measuring and stuff like that, it's just two of us. Yeah.
Okay. So where do you see the future of Hitched Beverages and Morgan Mixers going?
Oh man, I see me doing this for another 5 years, us getting bought out by a big conglomerate, and me retiring on a beach house in the Turks and Caicos.
So you let somebody buy out? You wouldn't keep it?
No, I'd never let anybody buy it.
Okay.
Let me back up before I pull a Daniel Snyder. I'm never gonna say never. I'm never gonna say never, but two things would have to happen for that. One, it would absolutely have to be an offer I can't refuse, and two, I don't think I would ever sell it completely. Mm-hmm. And three, they would have to still follow the recipes we use, because if they refuse to follow the recipes we use, I don't want my name associated with it.
Okay. Gotcha.
It took me a while to build this brand. Actually, last week made our 3rd anniversary officially. Although I've been doing stuff like this for over 20 years. So, but okay. Actually, it made the 3rd anniversary for Morgan Mixers just last week. So, it's important that the product reflect my name, and if we were to ever sell out to anyone, they would have to make sure that to maintain the level of quality we use.
Okay. Has anybody ever approached you all about franchising?
No, not yet. But I tell you what, we are considering. We're actually considering having some satellite distribution in different cities where we do have a lot of traffic. Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, the Bay Area, Ohio, New York is really coming on strong. DC. So we're actually considering having some products mixed and be able to distribute them there.
Okay.
We're still working out the kinks on that because we still have to find some folks that we trust. Make sure that when they mix it, they mix it like we do.
Would it be a partnership, or would y'all hire them as employees?
Oh, it would be an employee. Yeah,
your employee.
Definitely be as employee. Right.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah, because yo, they're kicking in.
They're gonna kick in for sure.
Yeah,
they are gonna kick in. Now, don't be selfish, man. Spread those out in the house now. Damn. I don't think you're spreading them out in the house. Man.
Yeah, my wife, she waiting for this podcast in so she could do some taste testing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, she ready.
All right. Did you get some popsicles also?
I didn't get the popsicles. I didn't get popsicles.
We'll make sure you get a few of those and stick in the freezer and give them a shot as well. We'll make sure and do that, man.
I learned a lot about this. This is pretty interesting. Do you one more? Got a couple more questions. Do you all have like a goal of being in stores or in alcohol stores, or you would just want to keep everything in house and recoup all that revenue?
It's not necessarily a goal of ours to be in stores, but if the opportunity came, we would definitely jump on and take advantage of it. I've been doing some digging into how that works with getting in the stores, and as much as I hate to say it, a lot of it is political. And I don't mean political as far as politics, but I mean political as far as who you know and stuff like that. And it's really not something that it's not a goal for us, but of course, if the opportunity presented itself, if Mr. Kroger, knocked on my door one day and said, "Hey, man, I tasted your popsicles. We definitely want to get them in a store." We'd make it work. We would definitely make it work. Yeah. Oh, we'd absolutely make it work. Right? Oh, absolutely. But for now, it's growing steadily. Year over year has grown quite steadily. So we're happy. Look, we understand that there are a lot of folks out there doing stuff similar to this. We want to stand out, but we also understand that we have to be able to handle whatever volume comes in. So we don't want to be one of these companies that expands too far too fast and then can't handle the incoming volume. So we need to make sure that we take it a step-by-step process to ensure that we don't have that issue. And then when we do grow, we're ready for the growth. Like I said, if Mr. Kroger comes knocking and we accept a deal like that, we want to be able to hold up our end of the bargain. We don't want to be, we don't want to have it where we're making excuses to why we haven't been able to deliver our product. I definitely do not want that. Again, that goes back to protecting the name and the brand, and we want to make sure that we're in a good place. So not trying to expand too far too fast.
That's very understandable right there. All right. And as far as going back to the shipping, do you all have like specific contracts with the shipping providers, or you just pay standard rate business rate?
Every customer that sends an order to us, if they're not in the greater New Orleans area, we make sure we discuss up front the shipping costs, because shipping liquid is heavy, but we primarily use flat rate, so that keeps the cost down significantly. Our repeat customers already know exactly what the postage is before they even pick up the phone to send us a text. Yeah, they know. There was a young lady that put an order in a couple nights ago, and she put in the same volume order but different flavors. And before I could send the invoice to her, she had already paid the exact amount because she already knew, because she orders the same thing every single week. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they already know the shipping costs associated with it. Absolutely.
Yeah. I got some good clientele and a good fan base. I love that.
Let me tell you, man, we have some customers that have, and I hesitate to call them customers because they've really become family, man. We talk all the time, we exchange photos, stuff like that. So it's more of a family than it is a customer, because I make sure that I follow up with every single customer that orders anything from us. I always make sure that they're satisfied. Were there any issues? Is there something we left out of the box that we should have put in? Did we put something in that we shouldn't have? There was one young lady a few months ago. I had to resend her order 3 times because I kept putting the wrong thing in her box every time. And the 3rd time she said, you could mess it up again because you keep giving me free stuff. But we got our order right. But when I tell you she's loyal to a fault, I mean, every week, like clockwork, she's putting in an order. She's getting a box delivered to her doorstep every week. So, I mean, what can you say about that, man? You have to love that, You have to love it.
Oh yeah, utilizing like email distribution, text messaging, something like that to communicate with your customers.
We do. Yeah, we do. And in fact, we're actually about to start advertising a couple of one-off drinks that we're going to be offering. Kind of secret right now. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you'll know when you see it. And it'll be very limited supply, very limited time. There are going to be some things that are only going to be available to be shipped. There are going to be some things that are only going to be available to be purchased locally because of the content. These are going to be some things that we're going to do that we just can't ship those. The things that you have, we can ship those because they're stable. But some of the other things we're working on, they're going to be for locals only, which I think is going to give it a little twist, and we'll see what happens with those. I think those are going to give us a good result as well, though.
Okay. Definitely. And how can somebody get that T-shirt in the back? I see the HITCHED beverage shirt in the back. How can somebody get that?
You mean like this one?
Yeah. How can somebody get something like that?
We do sell those on the Instagram page. They come in black. They actually come in black, white, and what we call Saints Gold. It's the pale gold. All of them have the same inscription as this one has. The T-shirts are $25. We have pretty much the gamut of sizes in each color right now. I think we may be out of the 2X in the colors, but it's very easy for us to get more of them. But yeah, the tees are $25. They can just direct message me. Either send me a text at 504-220-9920, or they can send me a direct message on Instagram at Morgan_Mixers and at HITCHED NOLA, HITCHED BEVS NOLA.
All right. I didn't even have to ask you what your social media outlet and how they can contact you. You already you were right in on the money.
Let me tell you, man, I before this started, I really wasn't big on social media, but now I understand the impact and the reach you can have on social media. For us to be able to do this strictly on social media, man, it's been absolutely phenomenal. When we launched the HITCHED Beverage Instagram page, the followers just started coming like I had never seen before. It was like people were waiting at the gate for us to say, okay, we're open. And it's been quite a ride so far.
Great. Well, I hope you have more continued success. I definitely want to try those freeze pops off.
I'll make sure you get them.
All right. Do you have the last words for my listeners?
Well, I tell you what, just continued safety during this pandemic. If you're at home and you're watching this podcast, or you happen to just go to your social media and type hashtag Boozy Pops or hashtag Boozy Popsicles, and you run across my face and see HITCHED Beverages or Morgan Mixers, give us a shout. I promise you'll be pleased.
All right. I want to thank you for coming on the show. Maybe next time I have you on, we can do some more live test station with more people in the background. once this pandemic calm down, and maybe we can get Mr. Walter Robinson to come on with a shot.
Yes.
With his shot,
Yeah.
come on.
There you go. We'll definitely have to do a little something in a group setting the next time, and you know, you get a little better feel of when we do an event that way too, as well.
All right, y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Lanyard Legends podcast. Subscribe below to the YouTube channel, Facebook page, Instagram page, all our social media outlets. We're on Twitch and LinkedIn now. Make sure y'all get some of this Big Walt iced tea. This thing will get you right, because I've been sweating since I started drinking this thing. I'm sweating. You know?
Now go share some now, man. Don't take it all now.
All right, man. I want to thank you for coming on the show. It's been fun. I'm gonna continue drinking all these drinks, and hopefully I can go to work in the morning.
Enjoy, man. Enjoy. Cheers to you, brother.
All right, thank y'all. Make sure y'all follow HITCHED Beverages and Morgan Mixers. Reach them out on Instagram. Once a website come up, I'll fast forward. I'll forward it to my listeners and subscribe to podcast listeners and everybody. All right.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. All right, you too.
Yeah.
All right.